What is going on, everyone? I am the AlphonZeus Gradelock, here promoting out Ultra Reality Games, aka ARG. We got a link to their website in the description down below, so don't forget to seek the link. Once there, you can find any information on any singles or sealed product for Cardfight Vanguard on their website, so if you need some singles to finish out that deck, or if you want to record your own Did I Plus openings, feel free to check them out. Also, if you want a competitive edge, you can feel free to check out the ARG Circuit Series website to see if there's an event near your location. Thank you for your time, guys, and enjoy the video! What is going on, YouTube? I am the AlphonZeus Gradelock here with one of the people from Game On to happen the top 8 ARG and AC associate member of Team Dark Matter, Philip S. So right now he's going to be showing off his Kagero build for Overlord.
Alright, well, first off we have the starter, which is Lizard Soldier Conroe. Is really glad to see this guy back again. His skill, he's a forerunner, obviously. Why would he be a starter? Yep. I don't know what I'm saying. Skill is counterblast 1 and retire him. Search your deck for any grade 1 or less Kagero unit and add it to your hand. Okay. This card allows you to get perfect guards, heal triggers, any vital grade 1 you need. He's pretty much automatically there, and is really glad to have him back. Also, that 5K is so much better than Red Pulse Draco Kid's 4,000.
Gotcha. Yeah. This is grade 1 or less. Wow.
Do I do triggers last, or do I do, or is it 0?
We can do 0, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. For triggers, we're gonna start with that. This is not right. Originally in the tournament, I didn't have 2 of the Blade Master crits, Dragon Knight Janet. Okay. But now you kind of want to run forward. She's the Blade Master. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater Blade Master, shove it in the soul when it attacks, 5k draw. It gives you some soul, which is what this deck severely lacks at times. So like you kind of use your skill quite a bit, especially when you're on Titan? Yeah. You can only do it when you're on Titan, because that's when you have Blade Master in the name. Got it. We run 4. Blu-ray, I just like him. He's kind of OG. But what the key thing is that he's a Flame Dragon. This deck relies on having Flame Dragon cards, which is why you want to have as much Flame Dragon cards as possible. That's what kind of is a bad point about Janet. Okay. Next, I run 4 draw triggers, and I run 2 sets. Okay. I run Gatling Claw Dragon and Steel Dragon Artipeak. Artipeak is Margot clone for Kagero. Put in the soul, give 3k. And Gatling Claw Dragon is counterblast 1, put him in the soul. You can retire grade 0. I don't use this as often because I want to save that counterblast, and usually that grade 0 is gonna be gone by the time I get to grade 3. So really? Okay. Yeah. And then finally we run 4 heal triggers. I run Mother of Dragon because I just love its artwork. I wish I had the shiny SP, whatever they were called, from the Hail Trigger campaign. What's good about this is that it is a Flame Dragon, which is something you need to worry about when we get to a specific grade 3. Okay. For grade 1s, we run 4 of Lizard General Conroe. Okay. This is a grade 3 searcher like Steam Breath Dragon and Sisyphus. It's on call, reveal a grade 3, search your deck for an Overlord grade 3. Everyone knows that there's too many Overlords, but this allows you to search any Overlord. Basically, a grade 3 automatically becomes what you need. He also has a main skill, Act, retire him. Then give the skill to a Vanguard that has Overlord in its name. When it attacks, countercharge 2. Not Vanguard, not Rearguard, as long as your Vanguard is Overlord in its name and it's attacking, countercharge 2. Got it. Word. It allows also allows for a certain combo to grade 2, that will come up soon. Next, we run 3 Stride Assists. 3, okay. Yep, only 3, because this deck runs 9 grade 3s. So it helps because you need to stride, but I think 3 is good enough because if not, I would say replace a Conroe because we have the grade 1 or grade 0 Conroe. Okay. But otherwise, he's a stride assist. It's what you do. Okay. Next, we run 4 Protector of Dragon. All right. This is the unflipping countercharge perfect guard. Again, it's a Flame Dragon, thus allowing it to be searched out with a specific grade 3 that we'll get to soon. And the countercharge is very necessary because Kagero burns Counterblast. Kagero can help you, but sometimes you don't want to retire him. Sometimes you want to have him be a booster. So the perfect guards help, and obviously it's perfect guards. You don't want to die too quickly. And then tech I run is 2 of Spear of the Flame Dragon Tar. His skill is Act, GB1, Counterblast 1, and once per turn. You choose one of your units, and it gets 4K, and then it gets the skill on the Vanguard or Rearguard circle. So whatever unit you chose gains the effect. When it attacks a Vanguard, you can check the top 5 cards of your deck, and if there's a grade 3 Flame Dragon from among them, you can add them to your hand. On one of our strides, actually a lot of our strides, this can help make huge number plays. But we run 2 because you only really need that many. The space in this deck is a little tight at the moment. Onto our grade 2s now. We run 4 Emperor Dragon Knight Nehalem. I'm sorry.
Not foil.
I wish I could. Do you have foils?
Real, not foil.
Okay. So, Nehalem, I'm sorry about that. Nehalem is a GB1 on Rearguard. If you have a Vanguard with Overlord in its name, he gets +2. Basically, if you're at GB1's active, he's going to be 11k attacker on your turn. Also, he has an auto that when your Vanguard, that's a grade 4 attacks, he gets +5. So every time your Stride attacks, he becomes a 16k attacker by himself. And if your Vanguard happens to restand, then he becomes a 21. And that can help especially on 2 of our grade 3, or our 2 of our finisher cards.
Okay.
Next up, we run 4 Dragonic Burnout. Burnout's a non-GB, which is great. Auto, when he's placed on the rearguard circle, you may pay the cost of putting 1 Overlord from your drop zone to the bottom of the deck. And if you do, you may pay the cost of Soul Blasting 1 to retire anything your opponent has, unless it has resist, which sucks. That's the deck's biggest weakness, is stuff with resist or stuff that's nothing there. But what is great about Burnout is his wording. You may pay the cost, or you may put the Overlord at the bottom of the deck. And if you do, you may pay the cost of Soul Blasting 1. So if you don't want to deck out and you have an Overlord in the drop zone, because this deck can grind, you can put that in the drop zone, and if you have no soul, it doesn't matter. You just put the Overlord back in the deck. And he helps out very early game because the fact that he's not GB restricted.
Gotcha.
And then I could do it if I had money, is to run Neoflame, but instead I run 3 Berserk Lord Dragon. His skill is a GB1, Counterblast 1. When your grade 4 or greater Vanguard attacks, you may pay the cost, and if you do, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less and retire. The only problem with this is, again, resist, and if your opponent has nothing but grade 3s on the board, he can't kill anything.
Oh my.
But he's good because he's constant pressure. Neoflame, if after the turn he's played, he's done.
Gotcha.
But he helps, and if not, he's just an attacker. You know, this deck is kind of just focused on pressure.
Yeah,
now we get to
with
the good parts. We get to the grade 3s, starting off with the main one, which we run at 2 for some reason. Dragonic Overlord, the Legend. Legend has 2 skills, and we're going to go at his bottom one first. It's Auto, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When you ride him, you get to pay the cost. And if you do, check the top 5 cards of your deck, and if there's a Flame Dragon from among them, you can add it to your hand. So that's why I said Flame Dragon is so crucial. You get Perfect Guards, Heal Triggers, any of your grade 2s other than Nehalem is great to get them. And then he has another skill. Act once per turn, GB2, Counterblast 1, and choose a grade 3 or greater Flame Dragon from your hand and discard it. Then he gains the skill where until end of turn, he gets plus 15,000 power, plus 1 grade and plus 1 drive, and auto. At the end of the battle, they attacks a rear guard. You can discard 3 cards, and if you do, you'll restand it. So basically, you're having a 26k attack constantly with triple drive. The only problem is the discard. We run 2 of them because we are focused on a grind game, and we can just search them out with Conroe.
Gotcha.
Next, for our backups, we run 4 of Dragonic Overlord the Cross.
Okay.
He legions with the End, which we'll show off next. And his skills, when he performs Legion, you may search your deck for a card on the Vanguard circle, so a copy of him or the End, and add to your hand, which helps for the End and the Cross's combo. The Cross's skill is also Counterblast 1 and Persona Blast. At the end of the battle, they attacks. If the attack did not hit, you can pay the cost and retire to 2 rear guards. I don't go into the skill as much. I usually go into the Cross when either the Legend happens to end up in my damage zone, or I am trying to do the Legion loop that everyone knows and hates. which
Gotcha.
I hate doing, but sometimes it's a necessary evil.
So this is like your main, like that's your main go-to in a way. Right?
My main grade 3? No, my main grade 3 is the Legend. I run the Cross as the backup so I can, because once the game goes really low, then I can start doing the Legion loop as we're both like, I have 6 cards in my deck, my opponent has 6, Legion. And then we just keep trading back and forth until he eventually decks out.
So that's why technically, okay, yeah. That's the one.
And then we run 3 of the mate, the end. His skill is, the only skill that matters is the bottom, Counterblast 2, and Persona Blast. If the attack hit, you restand him. I don't get to use this as much because when I'm going into the Legion, it's late game. I usually have no open damage, and it's just who decks out first. And we're just like trading like scrapes at each other. So we only run 3 of him, also because he's not the best option to ride, but since we have Conroe, we don't need to worry about that. We still want to run 3, that way we can keep doing the Legion.
Understood. Okay.
Also, that's what's helpful about Tar, the Soul Blast. When you keep spamming the Legion, eventually you'll run out. But if you use Tar, you can Soul Blast them and then Legion the back.
Gotcha.
And then finally up to our grade 4s. First off is the one you will always go into first, Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, Vortex Desire. His skill is auto. When he attacks the Vanguard, you flip a G unit face up, and if you do, he gains the skill that if he attacks and hits, you can retire grade 2 or less units your opponent has equal to the number of Flame Dragon cards on the Vanguard circle. The reason why that card thing is very specific is because the heart counts as a separate card, but since it has the Flame Dragon trait, or race, it counts as 2. So basically, if he hits, you're going to retire 2. If it never happens, but if you were in Legion, you could retire 3. But at the same time, you're never really going to go into it because the Legend's so much more potent in this format. Next, we run one of my techs is Air Element Seabreeze. Not many Overlord decks are running Seabreeze. Mostly they hate the Counterblast 2, but again, we have Conroe, he countercharges. This deck is focused on pressure, so if your opponent doesn't ride because they G-assist or failed and they didn't have the grade 3, you just go into the punish. Otherwise, it's a generic stride that you can stride over or flip up with a certain grade 4 that will be coming up in just 1 second. Otherwise, if you have no counterblast and you just want to get a triple drive, go in. There's no reason not
So
to.
it's like no waste of a stride. You don't waste your stride.
Yeah, don't waste the turn. Just triple drive, you're guaranteed to get something.
Gotcha.
Or you don't, and then everyone's sad. Then we run 4 Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, Dragonic Blade Master Titan. He has a Blaze skill, which is at the beginning of each attack step. If you have, it checks, and if you have more rear guards, your Vanguard gets blazing. And then he has a GB2, Counterblast 1, and flip any G unit face up. Then, retire units your opponent has equal to the number of Titans in the G zone. So maximum 3, because you only have 4, and one of them's going to be on the Vanguard circle. And then retire them. And then, continuous, if the Vanguard's blazing, he gets a crit. So it gives us a pretty good mid-game, so you get the crit pressure.
It's like auto PG in a way.
Exactly. It's basically it's PG or die. You play Magic, not Gruul, then die. And then we run 4, and I'm sorry that my deck is not SP, guys. I'm poor. I'm poor. My parents yell at me when I spend money on cards. 4 Dragonic Overlord, Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, Dragonic Overlord the Ace. His skill is Counterblast 2 and Flip and Persona Flip. And then he gains the skill of where until end of turn he gets -1 drive check. So only twin drive, which kind of is bad. But if you have 2 or more face-up G units in your G zone, he gains the skill of at the end of the battle, they attacks a Vanguard once per turn. You can discard 1 card and 1 card that has Overlord in his name. So 2 cards, but 1 has to have Overlord in his name. Restand him, and he gets plus 5,000, which is where I was mentioning about Nahalim. Nahalim, so you attack 26, restand, attack 31, and then Nahalim's already swinging at 21. He's essentially though GB2, so you can't go into him first stride, which is a little unfortunate. And the GB or the CB cost is actually really high, which is kind of lame. And then we have 2 of Transcendence Divine Dragon, Nouvelle Vogue L'Express. His skill is Counterblast 1, GB1, Persona Flip, and then until end of turn, he gains the skill of when he attacks the opponent's Vanguard, they cannot call grade 1s, which is lame. Grade 1s, not grade 1 or higher, only grade 1. So they can call grade 2s, grade 3s, grade 0s, anything that's not grade 1. So no perfect guarding. And then continues. If your opponent's at 5 damage, all their trigger effects will be nullified. So if your opponent has like 2 cards in hand and it's not a heal trigger, it's no way they're going to guard it, and they're 5, game. Basically, it doesn't matter how many heals are left in their deck. If they hit 1, they hit 12, they're not going to count. So it's designed to finish the game and secure it.
Yeah, like an automatic secure.
Secure game, yeah. Also that pressure, because they have to force all the grade 1s out of their hand.
Yeah.
So if you got at least a full column and at least a Nahalem going, so you go 26, they guard it, whatever, and then you still have 2 columns open. And then finally for our G guards, we run 2 of the infamous chicken. Flame Wing Steel Beast, Denial Griffin. His skill is Counterblast 1. When he's placed in the Guardian Circle, choose a rear guard that's attacking and retire it outright. Beautiful. So unless the opponent has resist, it doesn't matter how high their power is, it doesn't matter how many crits, you're swinging, you're playing Neo Nectar and they have a 78,000 Ida or whatever, kill it outright. As long as you have that CB open and a heal trigger in hand, kills anything, which is great, and it can disrupt a lot of decks, specifically like Nova Grapplers. And then we run 1, Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, defeat Flare Dragon. His skill is Counterblast 1 and choose 2 grade 3 Flame Dragons from your drop zone and put them at the bottom of the deck. If you do, pay the cost. And also, another condition about this effect, your Vanguard needs to be being attacked by a Vanguard, and your Vanguard must have Overlord in its name. All the grade 3s in this deck have Overlord, so we don't have to worry about that. But the problem is that your Vanguard needs to be attacked by a Vanguard.
Yeah.
But if all those conditions are met, you retire your opponent's back row straight away. And because it does not say choose, it gets over resist units. So if you're playing against Messiahs and they got a Dark Metal Chameleon, kill it. If they got anything like that has a resist in the back row, kills it. It's non-targeting. It's also good for killing Laurels. The only problem is you cannot kill Crayon Tiger boosters and Twin Sword boosters. But otherwise, he's very helpful, and that putting the 2 grade 3 Flame Dragons back at the bottom of the deck helps, again, in the late game of worrying about deck count. And then finally, for our last card, we run Flame Emperor Dragon King as Xyle Orb Dragon. His skill is when he's placed in the Guardian Circle, if your opponent has 4 or less rear guards, so they don't have a full field, gains 5k. 31k thing, if your opponent's going on Chrono Jet and they don't have a big swing or it's not Chrono Jet G, place that down after the Gear Groovy or Gear next stage attack, just straight away get it. It's the only G guard we have that gives us numbers, which is what's sorely lacking in that Fighters collection, which I'm so angry about. But that's it for the rest of the deck. How much time do we have left?
We got like a few minutes. So if you can go over like 2 combos if necessary.
Okay. Then since we have enough time, I can go into some of the best combos I like doing.
Okay. What would be top 2?
Okay. The top 2 would likely be using this. If you get this in your opening hand, if you have at least a grade 1 to ride, a grade 2, and a burnout, and a grade 3, you are set to kill anything, because you'll start the turn, ride to your grade 1, use Conroe, retire. This is why this deck likes actually going first, ironically. Search for the other Conroe, or no, you would ride to grade 1, you pass, then your turn. You ride to your grade 2, use Conroe, search out the Conroe, and then call it. Then use Conroe's skill to reveal a grade 3, search out the one you want. Specifically, I always want to search out the legend. And then you discard that Overlord. Then, call Burnout, use Burnout skill, put an Overlord at the bottom of the deck, Soul Blast 1, pop starter, turn 2. It's great.
So it's like your optimal like start.
Optimal, yeah. The only ones it can't really kill are if they're playing Dark Irregulars, they're starting Enigmatic Assassin, or you're playing Pale Moon and they do the Cat Boots.
So anything that stays in the soul.
Anything that stays in the soul. Soul or Drop Zone is probably the worst part about this deck. And then one of my personal likes to run is using Tar, Titan,
Okay.
Ace, or Novell. Basically, any of our main attacking strides actually could do really well with Tar on the field, because if we get, for example, our crit trigger up,
Yes.
if we're going on our Blade Master turn, the only problem is it's very counterblast heavy. That's the problem with this deck. And the problem with only problem with the Grade 1 Conroe is the retire main phase, and then the auto is when you attack. So you don't get the counter charge until you attack, which is a little lame.
Gotcha.
Tar can give 4K to the Vanguard, and if he's boosting, he's basically an 11K booster. And then we got Titan, so we swing here, and we already got, what is that, 37?
Yes.
Put the crit trigger in there, 42. 42 is probably the best number that this deck can make, unless you are overloading it with the crit trigger. If you get like 4 crit triggers, 2 Tars, but that's only a pipe dream. I have gotten the Ace up to 52, and that was great. Which again is why I use Tar. Tar can help if, say, you're fit. It's a very lucky play, but if you don't have the grade 3 to discard, and you use Tar, check top 5 once you attack, and then if you get the grade 3, add to your hand, then you swing, get the twin drive, discard, and then you restand.
Gotcha. So Tar can help, especially with
I personally like giving the 4K to the Vanguard, because someone's asked, why don't you give it to the rear guard? Well, the Vanguard's, 30 is not a great number, but it allows you to shuffle your deck and get a glimpse of it before you do your drive checks. That way you know that you don't end up having, 2 grade 3s or a grade 2 that you don't need. Instead, it's, okay, I got the grade 3 I need, and then I check for new ones. But Tar was able to help out, especially in my second game against Nem, when we were playing, it was probably one of my worst matchups, which is Pale Moon, because I can't kill their stuff. It's a
bad matchup in a way.
It's a bad matchup, mainly because it's not Nightmare Dolls where I can kill the Alice and ruin the combo. But I was able to get the Ace up to around 52 because I got 2 crits, or 2 triggers, which really helped. Every one of my other games were pretty decent. It was mostly this deck provides so much pressure that they couldn't deal with it.
I'm just looking at this.
Yeah. I'm not sure fully of what else to say, but I guess that's it. Mainly this deck you want to focus on is pressure. The deck is very counterblast heavy and relies a lot on having grade 3s in hand. So sometimes when you're discarding, you would say, wait, I need to keep this grade 3 so I can stride or do my GB2. The problem is, say you don't do that, and then they get triggered saying you lose. Fortunately, I was a second ARG and triple healed 3 times in a row, which I hate myself for. Otherwise, I believe that's it. Shout outs to my boys at Dark Matter, Shane, Grant, Frank, Rob, Joe, all of them, and I think that's it, and Al can take it away.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Phil. Thank you for appreciating with the 2 combos, for at least. If you guys want to hear about more combos, you can feel free to comment down below, and I'll direct him to apply to your comment directly.
If you see a boy named Common Rider Dragoon, that's probably me.
Gotcha. Alrighty, guys, take care. This is Phil, associate member of Team Dark Matter, and the AlphonZeus Team Gradelock signing out. Take care, guys.
Hey there guys, the AlphonZeus Team Gradelock. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to check out Alter Reality Games, aka ARG. We got a link to the website in the description down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more Cardfight Vanguard content. Take care guys, have a great day!